2010 right out the gate, there were 83 international players on opening night rosters. That tied the record from 3 seasons earlier. 63 former G League players made it onto official rosters, which was the most ever at that point. The league was slowly becoming more of a global patchwork and more open to developmental talent. Kevin Durant had his breakout year, leading all scorers with just over 30 points per game. That was his first scoring title, and he did it as the youngest scoring champ ever. Steve Nash ran the show for Phoenix, handing out 11 assists per night like it was still 2005. Dwight Howard took control of the glass, pulling in over 13 rebounds a game and swatting nearly 3 shots per night. He also led the league in field goal percentage, clearing 61%. Rajon Rondo wasn't too far behind in making noise on the defensive end, leading everyone with over 2 steals per game. Phoenix came in as the league's offensive fireworks crew, averaging 110 points per game. On the other side, Charlotte locked things down, holding teams under 94. The Cleveland Cavaliers finished with the best regular season record at 61-21, but Orlando had the best point differential, outscoring opponents by 614 across the season. Meanwhile, the New Jersey Nets made history no one asked for, losing 70 games and becoming just the 5th team ever to do that. Minnesota wasn't far behind in misery, finishing 15-6-7 and somehow posting an even worse point differential. In the Western Conference, it was tight. All 8 playoff teams hit the 50-win mark with just 7 wins separating the 1st and 8th seeds. The Lakers topped the conference with 57 wins, but the Thunder in the 8th spot weren't far off with 50. That kind of balance made the West a minefield. The East wasn't as stacked, but Boston made noise in the playoffs, taking out Cleveland and then Orlando, both in 6 games. The finals brought one of the most memorable battles of the decade. The Lakers and Celtics went to 7 games and it was ugly in the best way. Los Angeles pulled it off 83-79 and Kobe Bryant grabbed his 5th ring and another finals MVP. He averaged nearly 29 points and 8 rebounds in the series. Ron Rest hit one of the biggest shots of his life in Game 7, and Bryant made sure to remind everyone it was just one more than Shaq. LeBron James got the regular season MVP again with nearly 30 points, over 7 boards, and almost 9 assists per game. Tyreke Evans was the Rookie of the Year, joining an exclusive club by putting up at least 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists per game. Dwight Howard was named Defensive Player of the Year. Jamal Crawford won 6 men and Aaron Brooks took Most Improved. Scott Brooks won Coach of the Year after leading the Thunder's turnaround and D. Wade snagged All-Star MVP. The draft brought in future stars like Steph Curry, James Harden, and DeMar, but Blake Griffin, the top pick, missed the whole season. The Hall of Fame welcomed legends like Michael Jordan, John Stockton, David Robinson, and Jerry Sloan. Then there was the Gilbert Arenas gun mess, which got him and Javaris Kiddington suspended. There was also a referee lockout at the start, and the Nets got bought by Mail Pecora, laying the groundwork for their Brooklyn move. Steve Nash casually hit over 93% of his free throws. The Suns led in 3-point shooting and assists, and the All-Star Game set an attendance record with over 108,000 people. Oh, and Ben Gordon scored the 10 millionth point in regular season history. So, yeah, kind of a big year. 2011, the season opened with 30 teams again, but everything felt different. Derrick Rose turned into a full-blown superstar, dragging Chicago to the league's best record at 62-20. At just 22, he became the youngest, most valuable player ever, averaging 25 points and nearly 8 assists a game. The Cavaliers, after LeBron James' exit, fell straight into the abyss, finishing with only 19 wins. Their point differential was a stunning -739, the worst in the league. Meanwhile, Miami brought together their flashy trio of LeBron, D. Wade, and Chris Bosh. After a clunky 9-8 start, they ended up 58-24. They led the league in point differential at +612. The fanfare was loud, the expectations louder, and every game felt like a spectacle. On the flip side, Denver was the top scoring team at just over 107 points per game. Boston had the stingiest defense, holding opponents to 91 a night. Blake Griffin finally got on the court and didn't waste a second. He averaged over 22 points and 12 rebounds per game, and his dunks became a nightly highlight reel. Not just flashy, he was effective and dominant. He earned Rookie of the Year without any real debate. John Wall had a solid debut, too, putting up over 16 points, 8 assists, and nearly 2 steals per game for Washington. Kevin Durant led all scores again, this time at just under 28 a night. Kevin Love was an absolute machine on the boards, pulling in over 15 per game. Steve Nash at 37 still dished out over 11 assists a night like it was nothing. Andrew Bogut led in blocks at 2.5 per game, doing his best to anchor Milwaukee's defense. The playoffs were chaos in the best way. Miami steamrolled through the East, taking out Philadelphia, Boston, and then top-seeded Chicago, all in 5 games each. That Bulls team had the MVP, the Coach of the Year in Thibs and the best record, but Miami's pressure completely shut them down. Out west, Dallas became the story. They went 57-25 in the regular season, then destroyed the Lakers in the second round with a 4-game sweep that ended Phil Jackson's coaching career. Dirk Nowitzki caught fire, averaging over 32 points in the conference finals against Oklahoma City and shooting 55% from deep. Memphis, as an 8 seed, pulled off the rarest upset by knocking out the Spurs, who had 61 wins. The final saw the Mavericks take on the Heat and Dallas handled their business. They beat Miami 4-2. Dirk averaged 26 points and almost 10 rebounds, finally getting his title and shaking off all the playoff scars. LeBron, though, had a rough series. His scoring dipped to under 18 per game, and he caught all kinds of criticism for disappearing in key moments. Dallas' comeback in Game 2, overcoming a 15-point deficit in under 8 minutes, was the moment everything shifted. Lamar Odom won Sixth Man with solid numbers. Kevin Love took Most Improved. Dwight Howard won Defensive Player of the Year for the 3rd straight time. Kobe Bryant dropped 37 in the All-Star game and took that MVP. Thibs won Coach of the Year in his debut season. Off the court, Jerry Sloan resigned mid-season after over 2 decades with Utah. There were logo changes from Cleveland, Golden State, the Clippers, and Utah. And Kevin Love had the first 30-point, 30-rebound game since the early 80s. Dirk got his ring. Miami's Big Three got a hard lesson. And the league got a season worth remembering. By the way, if you guys want to subscribe, I'm going to be posting every day. Thanks. Anyways, 2012, everything started late because of the lockout, which stretched 161 days and shut down all preseason games. That gave us a 66-game sprint starting on Christmas. Fewer games meant less margin for error, and some teams clearly weren't ready. The Bulls still managed to grab the top seed at 50-16, but Miami was right behind them and locked in when it counted. LeBron James put together one of the most complete seasons ever. He won Most Valuable Player for the 3rd time, topping the league in efficiency, win shares, box plus-minus, and value over replacement player. He also finally got the ring everyone said he needed. Miami ran through the East, then beat Oklahoma City in the finals, 4-1. James averaged 28 points, 10 rebounds, and over 7 assists per game in the series, and was named Finals MVP. After all the drama the year before, he finally closed the deal. The Thunder reached the finals thanks to their young core. Kevin Durant led the league with 28 points per game and James Harden won Sixth Man of the Year. Russell Westbrook made the All-NBA second team and Serge Ibaka swatted a ridiculous 3.6 blocks per game. That squad had the talent, but they ran into a Heat team that figured everything out at the right time. Chicago's run came to a sudden stop when Derrick Rose tore his ACL in Game 1 of their first-round series. The top-seeded Bulls were bounced by the 8-seeded Sixers in 6 games. That injury changed the entire trajectory of the playoffs. And honestly, Rose's career, it was a gut punch in every sense. Kyrie won Rookie of the Year with over 18 points per game and helped give Cleveland fans something to cheer about again. The all-rookie first team was loaded, too. Klay Thompson, Ricky Rubio, Kenneth Ford, and Kawhi Leonard all made the cut. Looking back, that class ended up shaping the next decade. Dwight Howard led the league in rebounds with 14.5 and made the All-NBA first team. Rajon Rondo led everyone in assists at nearly 12 per game, and Chris Paul topped the league in steals with over 2.5. Tyson Chandler anchored the Knicks' defense and won Defensive Player of the Year while also leading the league in field goal percentage at just under 68%. Kevin Love had a monster season and was rewarded with second-team honors and Most Improved Player. He even dropped a 31-31 rebound game against New York in November, something no one had done since Moses Malone. Ryan Anderson made a leap too, helping Orlando stay competitive with his shooting. Brandon Roy retired due to his knees, which was brutal. The league also said goodbye to the New Jersey version of the Nets, who were set to move to Brooklyn next season. And Charlotte, well, they set a record nobody wanted by finishing with the worst win percentage ever at 7-59. That's a 10% mark. Yes, worse than those Sixers teams. David Stern made waves again by vetoing a Chris Paul trade to the Lakers, citing basketball reasons, which set off a wave of conspiracy theories and frustration. The Clippers ended up getting Paul instead and changed their future entirely. The Spurs quietly went 60-16, but their playoff run was cut short in the conference finals by the Thunder. The arenas got facelifts, too. Indiana's was renamed to Bankers Life Fieldhouse and Oklahoma City's became Chesapeake Energy Arena. And just like that, the league transitioned from chaos to dominance in less than 6 months. 2013, the season started with the Brooklyn Nets making their debut and ended with Miami repeating as champions. They won 66 games in the regular season, the best record in the league, and strung together a 27-game win streak, the second longest in NBA history. That run got snapped by Chicago in late March. But the message was already clear. They weren't messing around. LeBron James took home his fourth most valuable player trophy. He averaged 27 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists per game while shooting over 56% from the field. He also dominated the advanced metrics again, leading in efficiency and impact across the board. Miami powered through the East and reached the finals for the third straight time. The finals matchup was a classic. San Antonio pushed the series to 7 games behind strong performances from Tim Duncan and Tony Parker, but Miami pulled it out in the end. Ray Allen hit a legendary corner 3 in Game 6 to keep the series alive. LeBron followed with 37 points in Game 7 and secured his second Finals MVP. Out west, San Antonio looked like a well-oiled machine. They weren't flashy, just consistent. Duncan, Parker, and Minute kept them steady, and they nearly took the title. Golden State emerged as a real threat, too. Returning to the playoffs behind the rise of Steph Curry, he set the all-time single-season record for three-pointers with 272 and became must-watch TV. The Oklahoma City Thunder made a huge decision before the season even started, trading James Harden to Houston. That move shifted everything. Harden exploded with the Rockets while Oklahoma City lost a major piece of their finals. Kevin Durant still had a strong year, but they never quite felt the same. Carmelo Anthony led the league in scoring with nearly 29 points per game, helping the Knicks earn the second seed in the East. J.R. Smith came off the bench firing and won Sixth Man of the Year. They looked like contenders again, at least for a moment. Damian Lillard won Rookie of the Year, averaging nearly 20 points and dishing out 6 assists per game. He started every game for Portland and didn't look like a rookie doing it. Paul George took a huge leap in Indiana and grabbed Most Improved Player. He also made the All-NBA third team and helped the Pacers push Miami to 7 games in the Eastern Conference Finals. Marc Gasol anchored Memphis's defense and won Defensive Player of the Year. He helped them reach the Western Conference Finals for the first time ever. George Karl coached Denver to 57 wins and won Coach of the Year, and Messiah Uggar, who built the team, was named Executive of the Year. Rajon Rondo led the league in assists at just over 11 per game even though he missed the last part of the season. Chris Paul topped the steals chart again. Serge Ibaka swatted 3 blocks a night and DeAndre Jordan shot 64% from the field. Jose Calderon led in free throw shooting and Kyle Korver was lethal from deep at nearly 46%. The Lakers had a nightmare year. Dwight Howard and Steve Nash didn't mesh. Kobe Bryant tore his Achilles in April and they got bounced in the first round. Brandon Roy stayed retired and Jerry Buss passed away, marking the end of an era in Los Angeles. It was a season packed with emotion, change, and moments that would echo for years. 2014, San Antonio was still mad about the way things ended the year before. And they took it out on the entire league. They finished with 62 wins, then ran through the playoffs and smoked Miami in the finals, 4-1. That made it 5 titles for the Spurs. And Kawhi Leonard at just 22, walked away with Finals MVP. The series wasn't close. San Antonio's ball movement and depth just dismantled everything in their path. Kevin Durant finally won Most Valuable Player. He averaged 32 points, nearly 8 rebounds, and over 5 assists. He gave a now famous speech, dropped 60 in a game, and led the Thunder to 59 wins. LeBron James was still elite, but this was Durant's regular season. The Heat still got back to the finals for the 4th year in a row, but this whole not 5, not 6 thing was starting to feel distant. Joe Noah did everything for Chicago and took home Defensive Player of the Year. He ran the offense, protected the paint, and kept the Bulls relevant even without Derrick Rose. Michael Carter-Williams won Rookie of the Year for the Sixers, who were mostly known for losing 26 straight games and chasing lottery balls. Goran Dragic took Most Improved for helping the Suns overachieve. Though Phoenix still missed the playoffs despite winning 48 games, Chris Paul led the league in assists and steals again with DeAndre Jordan cleaning the glass and shooting nearly 68%. Anthony Davis blocked almost 3 shots per game. Kyle Korver hit a 3 in 127 straight games, setting a new league record. He also led the league in three-point percentage at nearly 47%. Steph Curry was right behind him, hitting 261 threes and leading the league in free throw percentage at almost 89%. The playoffs were chaos in the best way. The first round had 5 series go to 7 games. The Spurs barely escaped the Mavericks in the opening round while the Warriors and Clippers traded blows in a heated 7-game series. The Heat had an easier path, cruising past Charlotte and Brooklyn before taking down Indiana in 6. Then they ran into the Spurs again, and it was over fast. San Antonio's offense was ridiculous, and the games weren't close. Carmelo Anthony had a monster scoring night, dropping 62 on Charlotte. LeBron answered with 61 later that season. Also against the Bobcats, Russell Westbrook put up a triple-double in just over 20 minutes, the fastest one since the 50s. David Stern retired on February 1st, ending a 30-year run as commissioner. Adam Silver stepped in and was immediately thrown into the fire. Just months later, Donald Sterling got banned for life after recordings of racist remarks surfaced. That shook the league and led to a forced sale of the Clippers. Phil Jackson returned to New York, but not on the bench. He took over as president of basketball operations. The Knicks, Celtics, and Lakers all missed the playoffs for the first time ever in the same season. Charlotte made the playoffs for just the second time in franchise history and prepared to return to being the Hornets. And with all that, the Spurs reminded everyone how a team built on discipline, movement, and actual passing could still win it all. No drama, just results. 2015, the Golden State Warriors didn't just arrive, they took over behind first-year head coach Steve Kerr in an offense that broke all kinds of brains. They won 67 games and stormed through the playoffs to win their first title since 1975. Steph Curry was unstoppable and earned his first Most Valuable Player award, averaging 23 points and over 7 assists while hitting shots that made defenders question their life choices. In the finals, Golden State took out Cleveland in 6 games. Andre Iguodala came off the bench to start midway through the series and was named Finals MVP for his work guarding LeBron James. James still put up ridiculous numbers, but with Kyrie and Kevin Love out due to injuries, it wasn't enough. Golden State had the depth, the shooting, and the momentum. Russell Westbrook led the league in scoring at over 28 points per game, even with a mask on for part of the year. DeAndre Jordan pulled down 15 rebounds a night and shot 71% from the field. Chris Paul handed out just over 10 assists per game and continued his usual dominance on both ends. Kawhi Leonard won Defensive Player of the Year, locking up wings and poking away steals at over 2 per game. Klay Thompson dropped 37 points in a single quarter against Sacramento. Not a game, a quarter. He didn't miss a single shot. That game alone made sure his spot on the All-NBA third team was locked. Curry led the league in free throw percentage while Kyle Korver somehow shot almost 50% from deep across the season. LeBron James returned to Cleveland and dragged a new-look Cavaliers team to the finals. The franchise also added Kevin Love in a blockbuster trade, but injuries decimated their rotation. Still, they pushed Golden State to 6 games and gave fans a preview of battles to come. Atlanta had their best season ever. They went 17-0 in January, and their entire starting 5 was named Eastern Conference Player of the Month. Mike Budenholzer won Coach of the Year, and the Hawks made the conference finals after finishing with 60 wins. Bob Myers took Executive of the Year for building the Warriors monster. Andrew Wiggins won Rookie of the Year for Minnesota, while Lou Williams took Sixth Man after providing instant offense for Toronto. Jimmy Butler stepped up in a big way and grabbed Most Improved, averaging over 20 points per game while playing elite defense for Chicago. The Rockets had their moment, too, coming back from a 3-1 deficit against the Clippers in the second round. James Harden earned first-team All-NBA honors and Dwight Howard held down the paint, but Golden State was just on another level. Dirk Nowitzki passed Hakey to become the highest-scoring foreign-born player in league history. Kobe Bryant passed Michael Jordan on the all-time scoring list before his season ended early due to another injury. And somehow both the Knicks and Lakers managed to lose over 60 games in the same season, a first for either franchise. It was a year of dominance, comebacks, milestones, and the official start of the Warriors dynasty. They didn't just win, they changed everything. 2016, Golden State didn't just run the table, they shattered it. The Warriors went 73-9, topping the Bulls' legendary 72-win season and setting a new standard for regular season dominance. Steph Curry led the charge and became the first unanimous Most Valuable Player ever, averaging just over 30 points while hitting .42 threes. He also led the league in steals and hit over 90% of his free throws. But none of that stopped Cleveland from flipping the script. The Cavaliers came back from a 3-1 deficit in the finals, the first time that had ever happened, and snatched the title in Game 7. LeBron James was everywhere. He led both teams in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. That chase-down block in the final minutes was seared into basketball memory. Kyrie iced it with a 3 right in Curry's face. Andre Drummond dominated the glass, pulling down nearly 15 boards a night. Rajon Rondo led everyone in assists, dishing out almost 12 per game. Hassan Whiteside swatted away nearly 4 shots every night, while DeAndre Jordan shot over 70% from the field. Riek led in three-point percentage at almost 48%, and Curry once again topped the free throw charts. Kawhi Leonard won Defensive Player of the Year again. He kept locking down opposing stars while scoring efficiently and quietly, dragging San Antonio to 67 wins. The Spurs also went 40-1 at home. Steve Kerr took Coach of the Year, but it was Luke Walton who led Golden State to most of those early wins. While Kerr recovered from back surgery, Karl-Anthony Towns won Rookie of the Year with ease, averaging 18 and 10 and flashing skills up way beyond his years. McClung took Most Improved after jumping from a bench guy to a full-time starter and scoring over 20 per game. Jamal Crawford won Sixth Man of the Year again, still breaking ankles off the bench. Kobe Bryant played his final season, and on the last night of the regular season, he dropped 60 points against Utah. The same night, Golden State got win number 73. It was one of the most surreal closing nights in league history. Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett also retired that year, signaling the true end of an era. The playoffs had drama from the jump. Portland, who wasn't supposed to do much after losing most of its starters, made it to the second round. Toronto reached the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time ever, riding DeMar and Kyle Lowry past the Pacers and Heat. Miami made it that far without Chris Bosh, who was sidelined again due to health concerns. And in the West, Oklahoma City almost ended Golden State's run early. They went up 3-1 in the conference finals, but then Curry and Klay Thompson went nuclear. Thompson dropped 11 threes in Game 6 to bring them back from the brink, and the Warriors took Game 7 to move on. Then the finals flipped everything upside down. Draymond Green got suspended for Game 5. Andrew Bogut got hurt. LeBron and Kyrie exploded for 41 each in Game 5. The rest was history. Cleveland's first title. LeBron's promise delivered. A 73-win team beaten. A block, a shot, a comeback that broke logic. And just like that, one of the most unforgettable seasons ever had its perfect ending. 2017, Golden State took things personally after blowing a 3-1 lead the year before. They added Kevin Durant and turned into a cheat code. They finished 67-15 in the regular season. Then steamrolled through the playoffs with a 16-1 record. That's the best postseason mark in league history. Durant won Finals MVP, averaging 35 points per game and hitting clutch shots over LeBron James like it was nothing. The Cavaliers made their third straight finals trip too, but this time it felt different. Golden State had too much firepower. Still, LeBron put up absurd numbers and became the first player ever to average a triple-double in the final. Cleveland lit up in Game 4 with 49 points in the first quarter and 86 in the first half, both finals records. But the Warriors didn't blink. Russell Westbrook took home Most Valuable Player after one of the wildest individual seasons ever. He averaged 31 points, 10 rebounds, and over 11 assists per game, and broke the single-season triple-double record with 42. He became the second player in league history to average a triple-double for a full season, joining Oscar Robertson. He also led the league in efficiency rating. James Harden led the league in assists and turned Houston into a juggernaut under new coach Mike D'Antoni. The Rockets won 55 games, launched threes like they were layups, and Eric Gordon won Sixth Man of the Year. Giannis won Most Improved after evolving into a matchup nightmare and dragging Milwaukee to the playoff. Draymond Green won Defensive Player of the Year, leading the league in steals and anchoring Golden State's defense. Rudy Gobert blocked nearly 3 shots a night for Utah. Hassan Whiteside grabbed over 14 rebounds per game, and DeAndre Jordan finished first in field goal percentage at over 71%. McClung led all players in free throw percentage, and Kyle Korver again topped the league in three-point shooting. Malcolm Brogdon won Rookie of the Year in a weak class, but played solid, efficient basketball for Milwaukee. Dirk Nowitzki became just the 6th player in history to reach 30,000 points. Devin Booker had a ridiculous 70-point game against Boston, the youngest ever to hit that mark. The All-Star game had its own chaos. Anthony Davis scored 52 points and won MVP in front of his home crowd in New Orleans. The game was moved there after the league pulled it from Charlotte due to controversy around local legislation. LeBron passed Michael Jordan in all-time playoff points and kept stacking records. San Antonio won 61 games, quietly doing what they always do, and extended their streak to 20 straight winning seasons. They also swept Memphis and Houston in the playoffs before falling to Golden State in the conference finals. The Warriors started the postseason 15-0 before Cleveland finally stole one in Game 4 of the finals. The league shifted dramatically that year. Durant joining a 73-win team turned the Warriors from elite to inevitable. Westbrook's rage-fueled stat machine season gave fans something to obsess over, while Houston's run-and-gun style changed the way teams approached spacing and shooting. The year was filled with milestones, scoring explosions, and playoff dominance. The finals weren't close, but the path there was wild. It felt like the balance of power had been permanently altered. And in a way, it had. Golden State wasn't just winning. They were redefining what dominance looked like. 2018, the Golden State Warriors weren't chasing a record this time. They were just chasing rings. They ended the season with 58 wins. A little more human than before, but still an absolute nightmare in the playoffs. They bulldozed their way through the West and then steamrolled Cleveland in the finals, sweeping them 4-0. Kevin Durant grabbed his second straight finals MVP, torching defenders and making the big moments look easy. LeBron James made it to the finals again, his 8th straight trip, dragging a flawed Cavaliers roster every step of the way. He led the entire league in playoff scoring and played every game like it was a one-man campaign for basketball survival. That J.R. Smith Game 1 blunder, that didn't help. James Harden finally got his Most Valuable Player award after leading the league in scoring with just over 30 points a night and pushing Houston to a franchise-best 65 wins. They took Golden State to 7 games in the Western Conference Finals, but Chris Paul missed the last 2 games with a hamstring injury and the Rockets missed 27 straight threes in Game 7. The math said shoot more, but reality said stop. Russell Westbrook averaged a triple-double again, but this time nobody threw a parade. He led in assists, but the novelty was wearing off. Andre Drummond led in rebounds again, pulling down 16 a game. Victor Oladipo turned into a star with Indiana, won Most Improved, and led the league in steals. Anthony Davis blocked over 2.5 shots per game. Rudy Gobert won Defensive Player of the Year. And Clint Capella led the league in field goal percentage. Ben Simmons took Rookie of the Year in a race that annoyed everyone. Some people didn't think he should count as a rookie, but the voters didn't care. He helped lead the Sixers to their first playoff berth since 2012. Joel Embiid played real minutes and the process finally looked like a team. Darren Collison quietly led the league in three-point shooting and Steph Curry once again topped the free throw leaderboard at 92%. Lou Williams won Sixth-Man of the Year for the second time, still doing that microwave scoring thing off the bench. McCollum was automatic from the line at over 91%. The Warriors, as usual, didn't have a player lead the league in anything, but they had everything else. Toronto won 59 games and finished first in the East, then got absolutely stomped by LeBron and company in the second round. That sweep ended the Raptors' run as constructed, and it cost Dwayne Casey his job, even after winning Coach of the Year. Boston made a deep playoff run without Kyrie or Gordon Hayward, both sidelined with injuries. Jason Tatum stepped up huge, dunked on LeBron in the conference finals, and nearly knocked out the Cavs. It took 7 games for Cleveland to survive that series. The All-Star Game had a new format. Instead of East versus West, captains picked teams like it was recess, and LeBron's squad beat Steph Curry's in a game that was actually competitive for once. Donovan Mitchell gave Utah a new identity, leading them to the second round as a rookie. The West stayed brutal and the East kept shifting. But in the end, the Warriors still had Durant, Curry, Clay, and Draymond. And that was more than enough. Again, 2019, the dynasty cracked. After 5 straight trips to the finals, Golden State fell. Toronto took the crown in 6 games, and Kawhi Leonard walked off with Finals MVP. After delivering one of the most dominant playoff runs in recent memory, the Raptors weren't a fluke. They were deep, relentless, and fearless. Pascal made the leap. Kyle Lowry came through and the entire country of Canada got a parade. The finals weren't just about who won, they were about who went down. Kevin Durant tore his Achilles in Game 5. Klay Thompson tore his ACL in Game 6. The Warriors were already missing pieces, but those injuries ended any chance of a comeback. Just like that, the run was over. James Harden had another unreal scoring season, dropping over 36 a game and going on a 32-game streak of scoring at least 30. That's the second longest run in league history. He didn't win MVP though. That went to Giannis, who led Milwaukee to the best record in the league and stuffed the stat sheet on both ends. Mike Budenholzer took Coach of the Year and John Horst won Executive after building a juggernaut around him. Paul George led the league in steals while Miles Turner took the blocks crown. Rudy Gobert locked down the paint for Utah again and grabbed Defensive Player of the Year. Andre Drummond kept doing Andre Drummond things, leading in rebounds at over 15 a game. Westbrook led in assists and averaged another triple-double, but people had definitely stopped freaking out about it. Luka won Rookie of the Year for Dallas. He came in playing like a vet and put the league on notice immediately. Trae Young got most of the buzz in the second half, but it was Luka who kept piling up the numbers from day one. Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid helped bring Philly back to relevance and the Sixers came within a couple bounces of advancing, literally. That Kawhi Game 7 buzzer beater in Toronto will live forever. Victor Oladipo missed most of the season, but Indiana still pushed forward behind Miles Turner's defense and Bojan's shooting. Oladipo's breakout from the year before passed the torch to Pascal this time, who won Most Improved and turned into Toronto's second star. Steph Curry once again led in free throw percentage and Joe Harris snuck in to top the league in three-point shooting. Clint Capella was the most efficient shooter from the field until Gore passed him late in the year. Lou Williams won Sixth Man of the Year again because of course he did. The Nets made it back to the playoffs for the first time since 2015. D'Angelo Russell led the charge and made his first All-Star game. Denver returned to form, finishing 54-28 and pushed Portland to the brink in the second round. Damian Lillard closed that series with a deep dagger that sent the Thunder home and waved them goodbye, literally. LeBron James joined the Lakers, but things didn't go as planned. Injuries, chemistry issues, and front office chaos kept them out of the playoffs. Dirk Nowitzki and D. Wade both retired at the end of the season, closing the book on two legendary careers. And if that wasn't enough, the league rolled out new rules like a 14-second shot clock reset on offensive rebounds and faster replays for hostile acts. The landscape shifted, a new champion was crowned, and for the first time in years, it felt like anything could happen again. If you enjoyed this, I'm going to be posting a lot here. I would greatly appreciate it if you could subscribe. Thanks for watching.